Hey guys and gents, ladies and gents, welcome to the AEW Insider. I'm your host, Lee Benz. Back for our weekly YouTube show. Like I said, I would be here once a week. You can catch us on AEW Insider on YouTube. Definitely check us out on Facebook and Twitter under AEW Insider. We do a weekly podcast also. I do that on the weekends. We do it on Anchor, but it also gets shared with a lot of other, podcasting platforms also. You can catch it on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker Radio, Radio Public, and iTunes. And definitely check out the WFW fan group on YouTube too. That and AEW Insider, we have a great bunch of wrestling fans. There's never any drama, any beef, and it's a good time. So we love to have you guys. We get our information from various sources, online and in print, so I like to give them a little credit. We name a few: The Wrestling Observer, Wrestle Talk, Cultaholic, Sam Roberts, Wrestle Votes, PW Insider, Bleacher Report, and many more. I apologize for reading off the paper, but I don't have a teleprompter. I don't think any YouTube bloggers do have a teleprompter, and they don't do shows this long, really, and if so, they go right off the fly, because there's no way you can remember everything that's going on. I want to bring you everything that happened this week, so I got to do what I got to do for now until I find a better alternative. If you're looking for all things WWE, definitely check out Two Tooth on Jabber Jabber Wrestling Universe. They do a show, a podcast per week or twice a week, and it's on Anchor and all the other sites that I named. Plus, they are on Facebook and they're on Twitter, Jabber Jabber Universe. If you're looking for all things NWA, you got to check out my dog, Adam Rotella. He does shows Monday through Friday on YouTube. It's called 10 Pounds of Podcast. And then he's also on Twitter. That guy is a beast, man. I don't know how he puts out so much content. I work 7 days a week. I'm a full-time dad. It takes me forever to punch up these scripts with all the information and find the time to do the show. This dude's pumping them out like it's nothing. Check them out, though. Pounds of Podcast. All right, let's get to what happened in AEW this week. We will be touching on a lot of other stuff, though, because AEW is just taking off. They don't have a weekly show, what have you, so there isn't too much on them, but we have a little something. So Chris Jericho, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, returned to his podcast this week, Talk is Jericho. He clarified that he will not be at the Royal Rumble. He's got an exclusive deal with AEW. He says that him and Vince are okay with him signing with AEW. He was supposed to have a casket match earlier last year against The Undertaker. That's the match that went to Rusev, in Saudi Arabia. He later found out it was due to his signing to a 3-match deal with New Japan, and they would not give him the spotlight if he was leaving. He understands that, and it does make total sense. Also, he was pitched a SummerSlam match against Seth Rollins. We won't get to see that because he signed with AEW, but you never know what the future holds, you know what I mean? A contract right now, he's allowed to work with New Japan only, but it could bend, and after that, of 3 years, if he isn't happy or he wants to reinvent himself again, he might go back to WWE, and we'll get to see that. He said that Cody contacted him about being at their pay-per-view All In, but his schedule would not permit it. He was pitched to interfere with a match with Omega and Pentagon. That would have been awesome. He also says that Tony Khan let him use his private jet so he can get from the Raw 25th anniversary to his Fozzy concert that night. That is awesome, man. And he also said that him and Tony Khan had a 4-hour meeting, and he also had a meeting with, Impact Wrestling. They wanted to offer him a contract, and it was very, very big money, but he's not in it for the money. They also promised the matches with their top star. Like my current fave besides Dolph Ziggler, Sami Callihan, the man, and Rich Swann. He said he would have loved to have wrestled Rich Swann. Again, you never know what the future holds. Tony Khan made him a bigger offer, though. The biggest deal he ever had laid in front of him, and he could not pass. He said he asked in 1998 Chris Jericho what would he do, and he signed because they really treated him with respect and dignity. So he liked the way they were giving him, you know what I mean? They tickled his feather, what have you. Plus, they filled his bank account ridiculously. So he went with AEW. He signed a 3-year deal with them, and he's allowed to work with New Japan, which is awesome. I think he made a great call. I think everybody does. Besides maybe Vince, and a couple other promotions. Who knows? People have been bringing up how WWE website moved him to the alumni section right after he signed, and how they took him off the opener for SmackDown and Raw. They act like it's a bad thing. He understands why they did it. He's not going to be in the shows anymore, so why promote him? And he is an alumni. He's one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest, so that's where he belongs. It's not an insult or a diss. He said he will miss Vince and WWE, and he's always been a reinventing Maverick, so why would he change now? You know what I mean? Cody's brother did an interview, and he was on Twitter. He went about the AEW press conference. He was actually on the set of his horror movie, so he could not be there. He watched it afterwards and said to himself, they must have spent $100,000 on pyro. I agree. He said AEW is big for Cody and wrestling in general, and he wishes him and AEW the best. Why would he not? It's his little brother. He had a lot of time off because of his double knee surgery, and he'd been keeping tabs on what was going on. He let us in that he actually watched the All-In pay-per-view because he is a deputy sheriff, an honorable sheriff in this town. So he was actually doing a ride-along in a car with the sheriff, and he was watching All-In, and they were trying to talk to him. He was quieting him down so he could see what was going on in the All-In pay-per-view, which is really awesome. They asked him if he would go to AEW after he left WWE, and he said he wants to focus on being an actor. So I don't know if we'll see Goldust, but money talks and bullshit walks, you know, so hopefully we do. On Twitter, about a day or two ago, the Elite made a group tweet. It started with Cody, then Hangman, and then the Young Bucks. Cody said see ya, Hangman said in, Nick Jackson said loss, and Matt said in Angeles. So everybody has the fans wondering if they're planning an event there or another announcement. Nobody knows for now. But we will stay tuned because they deleted the tweet later. So who knows what's going on, if it's a pay-per-view or what. But I'm excited, and I wish I was closer to LA. Yesterday on Twitter, Cody opened an envelope. It had a black Mortal Kombat symbol on it. I was so jealous. He opened it up in Los Angeles, California. Today, actually, was an invite to go check out Mortal Kombat 11. They were doing a big reveal. I believe it's dropping in April or May, but I think it's April. I got to go reserve my copy tomorrow. I'm an excellent fighting guy on video games. So once it drops, I will give you guys my gamer tag, and if you want some, I'm going to hand you your head. It's that simple. I back up what I say. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Injustice 2. If you want some, below, leave your gamer tag. I'll send you a friend request, and then it's going to be over for you. Let me see. They also, Ronda Rousey also took to Twitter, and so did Xavier Woods. They got an invite too. Ronda Rousey said this is the invitation she's been waiting her whole life for. Her and Cody both claim that the Earth realm will be safe in their hands, which is too funny. They are lucky I was not invited itself, because when it drops, I'm going to send them my name too. And if they want some, they can get some also. So let's hope they have time to square off. I was hoping Kenny Omega would be there. He wasn't able to make it from what I seen. Last year at a big video game event, Kenny Omega and the Bucks took on the New Day, and that was a lot of fun to watch. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out on YouTube. Let me see. And it also got confirmed today that Ronda Rousey will be doing the voice work for Sonya Blade. Like, oh my God, I am super jelly. And Xavier Woods came to the event. He dressed up in cosplay as always. He brought Kofi Kingston with him and Zelina Vega. Xavier Woods was dressed as Shao Kahn. Kofi was dressed as Shang Tsung. And Zelina was dressed as Jade. They looked amazing. Like, literally, when they do cosplay, they go all out. Zelina was smoking as Jade, like I said. I seen her at NXT TakeOver Philly in January, and I gotta say, for real, she has the best rear in the biz. It's gotta be seen in person to actually appreciate it. After her, Alexa Bliss is definitely a close second. Anyway, the gameplay, fatalities, and cutscenes for Mortal Kombat 11 looked amazing, and I can't wait for it to drop. AEW, on other news, they signed another young talent, which is crazy. Actor Luke Perry's son actually signed a deal with them. His name is Jungle Boy Nate Coy. They wanted a 2-year deal with them, but Luke and his son, decided that he should sign a shorter contract, which I don't get, but you can't fight with the father and son. But that's crazy. Luke Perry for 90210 son is a wrestler, and he's supposed to be really dope. I got to check him out myself. All right, on the WWE news. Big rumors going around that WWE wants Batista for a big WrestleMania match, but he does start shooting a movie in February, so who knows if that's going to happen. WWE also signed ex-Defiant wrestling star Eli Dragunov after Defiant let him go for unknown reasons. WWE, as you'll see in this video, WWE, Ring of Honor, AEW, as you just seen with Luke Perry's son, they're all trying to grab talent, man. It's a race to grab the best. I don't think they're trying to let anybody go that they have, and they're trying to sign everybody up that they can. Let me see. Lars Sullivan. Everybody knows him from NXT. I don't like Lars. I never like Lars. Vince likes the big guys. Triple H likes the big guys. He's a big guy. He can barely move in a ring. He drools. You could tell he smells at the television screen. He's just horrible. But he did get his call up to Monday Night Raw a couple weeks ago. They've been advertising, and he has not showed up at the shows. He's been getting literally stage fright. Instead of showing up, he's flying home to where he's from. He hasn't showed up the last 2 weeks, and again on on Monday Night's Raw last night, he still didn't show up. He's under contracts, but rumors are saying that he has been released. So we will find out. And backstage, Triple H is taking major heat for giving him the push and co-signing for him. He's obviously not ready. I would throw a little shade at Vince if I was him too, for always taking the big guys over smaller guys with better talent. So we will see what the future holds for Lars. Like I said, I found him boring. I never liked him at all. So best of luck to you. Good luck in all your future endeavors, but I hope you don't come back. Let me see. There are so many other big names that should have gotten a push first, if you ask me. Other breaking news is that Mike Nellis and his wife Maria have asked for their release from the WWE. I don't blame them. The WWE did nothing for them, and Mike had his drug problem and his rehab stint, so that didn't help either. I've seen him in promotions before like Impact, and they were good together, but they just didn't click in the WWE, so they're trying to get let go. But I don't know about releases at this time. WWE is really not trying to let anybody go because they know they're going to go to AEW, and they don't want that. But if they don't let them go, they get to sit home and collect their check. We all seen that coming, though. Let me see. I do not know. I apologize. Also, the Revival is asking for its release, which is crazy. They're a great tag team. They got really big in NXT, and then when they got to the main roster, they got lost in the shuffle. And the Young Bucks and Being the Elite always bust on the Revival because they like them. The Revival. I can't even talk today. The Revival because they like them. So I seriously doubt Vince is going to let them go. Let me see. They updated the Royal Rumble poster because we'll get to what happened on Monday Night Raw when they put Finn Balor on it. A little spoiler there, but it's already Thursday, so you should have watched Raw. If not, I'll let you know what happened. They set up Braun. They replaced Braun Strowman. I'll tell you what happened in a bit. The new match was added to the Royal Rumble. It will be Rusev defending his United States title against his old title holder, Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't know. We already seen that match a couple times. A little bit boring, but anytime we get to see Rusev Day and Lana, I'm down with it. All right. On Monday Night Raw, Braun Strowman opened the show. He came out to the ring and he was calling out Brock Lesnar, saying how he's going to destroy him at the Rumble, and then he called out Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin came to the ring, he talked a bunch of smack, and then he took off. Braun chased him backstage. Braun was looking all over for him, he couldn't find him. My boy Elias was sitting there playing his guitar, and he was singing the song, and Braun heard from the song that Baron Corbin was hiding in a limo. He smashed the window, and he legit ripped the door off. Corbin took off on the other side and ran to the back. Braun turned around and Vince McMahon was standing right there. He told Braun that he owed him $100,000 for that car. Braun told him it was not worth it. Vince said, "Oh yeah, you think you're all big, you're bad, you're talking to me like that pretty much?" Vince stripped him of his championship match against Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. He walked away. Braun was so mad he flipped the limo, and a little bit later security escorted him out of a building. After that, Sasha Banks and Ronda teamed up. They won their match. They were talking in the interview after, and Ronda slipped up and said some things that Sasha took the wrong way. So now they're going to be fighting for the belt at the Rumble also. Backstage, everybody was in line to get Vince's ear because they wanted to get a shot at Brock Lesnar now that Braun is out of it, and plus other opportunities. Jerry King Lawler walked out of the door. We haven't seen him in a while, and he got a big pop. The crowd went crazy. They showed EC3 just waiting in line and smiling. He didn't say a word. That was his first official appearance besides a dark match on a major show on Raw. Let me see. Vince then came to the ring and he announced he would be fighting he wanted somebody to fight Brock Lesnar. So John Cena came out and interrupted him. And he told him, I already know what you're going to say. You want somebody to step up. He said, years ago when all your big names left you flat, like Stone Cold, The Rock, what have you, you stood into a room of misfits and you said, I need somebody to step up. He said, I will step up and I will not let you down. I never let you down, Vince. Then Drew McIntyre came out to throw his hat into the match. After that, Baron Corbin came out, and then Finn Balor. Now, Finn Balor's awesome. I follow New Japan like crazy. I love New Japan. Finn Balor was the original leader of Bullet Club. His name was Prince Devitt, and the guy is a star. WWE, of course, wants all the talent. They get them there. They promise them all these things, and then they bury them. It's not a secret that Vince McMahon does not like Finn Balor because he's too small. Vince McMahon likes big guys. So Finn came out and was talking to Vince, and Vince said, what do you think? You're big? You think you can take on Brock Lesnar or these guys? Do you see all this beef? Do you see this beef in the ring? And Finn, broke the fourth wall. He said, I know you never liked me, but these fans believe in me. You don't have to believe in me. So then Vince said, you know what? I'm going to make it a four-way match. Whoever wins this match can fight Brock at Royal Rumble. Drew McIntyre did his, Drew McIntyre did his Claymore kick and takes out Baron Corbin. He took out John Cena, and then Finn took out Corbin. Finn turned around and Drew hit him with a Claymore kick. So right in the middle of the ring was just Drew pretty much standing there while everybody was left in ruins. Later on, Jinder Mahal stopped Vince and said he was offended that he was not chosen for the Fatal 4-Way. Vince, kind of agreed, because Jinder's awesome. People hate him, but I love a good heel. And that guy and Drew, after they got fired years ago, and they came back jacked, ready to attack, and those guys are vicious. I think they're both awesome. So Vince said you get to choose one of the four. If you beat them, then you're in a four-way match for the chance to fight Brock Lesnar. So, of course, he chose Finn Balor, probably because he thinks Finn Balor is the smallest, and he can have an easier time beating him, which is really screwed up. Finn fights Jinder and wins, of course. He secured a spot in the four-way match. There is an Intercontinental match next, a three-way, between the champ Dean Ambrose, who has been a snore since his return. When the Shield was together, Dean was my favorite out of everybody. After they broke up, I liked Seth more. Waited for Dean to come back all these months, and he's just so boring. So it was Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Bobby Lashley for the belt. Leo Rush attempted to get involved in a match a few times. It didn't work. But at the end, Bobby Lashley hit Dean with a spear, and he actually is a new Intercontinental Champion, which is insane. People had mixed feelings about it. I really don't like Bobby Lashley in the WWE. He was great in Impact before that, but the guy's a beast. You can't deny him. So, it was very cool. So hopefully, with Leo Rush by his side, though, he's been reborn. I think he's awesome. So hopefully, he'll be a good heel in the future and a good champion until he loses it, probably at Mania. Let me see. They crowned him on Raw, the champ. Then they did a throwback to the Attitude Era, which is great. Back in the Attitude Era, when I was younger, they always had a lot of, not nudity, but sexy stuff going on, innuendos, what have you, bras and panties. But they stopped that because it's a PG era. But a PA actually went to go get Alexa Bliss for her show. He walked in to give her coffee, and actually her top was off, and it was covered by her shirt. It was across her chest. It was very, very nice to see. She yelled at him and all that, kicked him out of the room. She then came out to do her show called A Moment of Bliss, a pun on her name, of course, and she did introduce the female tag team titles. Those titles, seriously, are the most beautiful titles I can't say I've ever seen, but they're up there. They're the best titles they made in a very long time. My daughter and I was actually at one of the SummerSlams when Finn Balor fought, Seth Rollins for the new Universal title. And when they revealed that Red Ugly as Sin title, that whole Barclays Center went absolutely nuts in a bad way. They were booing it. They hated it. These women titles are absolutely gorgeous. She announced that 3 female tag teams from Raw and 3 female teams from SmackDown will have a tournament, and one of them will be crowned the new tag team women champion. I definitely got to go for my girl, the Iconics, or I got to go for Mandy Rose or Sonya. Sonya I have the hugest crush on, but I don't play for her team, so it's all good. But definitely the Iconics because they're my girls, or Sonya and Mandy Moore. Mandy Rose. Listen to me, Mandy Moore. All right. And then Paul Heyman came out to interrupt. He was just talking that talk like he does, and the promo was a bust, though. He was just sitting there trying to put Brock over. He doesn't need to put Brock over. And actually, like I said, I love Heyman, but this is, I think, his worst appearance ever. It was just unneeded. It was stupid, very boring to me. Then it was the four-way fight for the title. A lot of back and forth, but not for the title, but there was a four-way fight to see who would fight Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble for the title. I apologize. It's hard reading off this, looking at you. We got to do something about it in the future. There was a lot of back and forth, but in the end, of course, Finn Balor won. He was the first Universal Champion. We seen him win it when I told you with Seth Rollins at that SummerSlam, but Seth Rollins actually did a power bomb to him on the outside of the ring, and he injured his arm. So he was champ for not even a day, and he had to give the belt up, and then he was gone for months. So now his chance is to be the Universal Champion again, and I hope he gets it, because the small guys need to get put over if you're good. So he will be facing Brock at the Royal Rumble, and that's why they did that poster change I told you about. It was Brock and Braun, but now it's Finn Balor and Brock, and that match is going to be awesome. Nikki Cross had an amazing debut. It was a tag team match. It was 3-on-3. She totally kicked butt, man. I love Nikki Cross from Sanity. I don't know why they never called her up with Sanity, but the way it's working out, it might have been a good thing, because she's going to be huge, which I already know. All right, before we get to SmackDown, we'll do some commercials. We got to pay the bills. I want to do about Pro Wrestling Tees. ProWrestlingTees.com. Pro Wrestling Tees is one of the best shops for all things wrestling. They have the newest gear from the best promotions and wrestlers around the world. If you want anything AEW, they have the official merchandise, the spot, and plus old wrestlers too, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, what have you. I'm actually ordering my AEW beanie hat, just like this Bullet Club hat I got from them tomorrow. So next week for my show, I'll be rocking my AEW hat from Pro Wrestling Tees. Plus they do have a section too for injured wrestlers, which is really awesome to help them out. If you click on that, they'll have like 10 or 11, 12 injured wrestlers, and you can buy their merchandise and help put some money in their pocket while they're off the shelf, which is really cool. They have awesome toys, collectibles, and all kinds of shirts, clothes, hats, what have you. So definitely check them out at ProWrestlingTees.com. Another site I'm a big fan on is Strong Style Brand. That is where I got my Sami Callihan Death Machine hat from. I know it's sweet. You ain't got to tell me. It's the only place you can get it from him besides maybe a live event. And like I said, when I met him in August, he was sold out. Sami Callihan is awesome. They have amazing exclusive wrestling gear and their own branded gear that they produce. They even do their own sneakers. They got hats, t-shirts, and like I said, stars like Sami Callihan have teamed up with them to produce their own lines, and many other wrestlers too. Let me see. I was talking about my House of Glory hat and his hat and how I met him at House of Glory. Make sure you go on StrongStyleBrand.com, and they're the best, man. You won't regret it. Them and Pro Wrestling Tees, StrongStyleBrand.com and Pro Wrestling Tees. And I give Pro Wrestling Tees a lot of credit. I was on Twitter, and I was talking to Strong Style Brand, and I was telling them how I couldn't get the hat. I wanted to order it, and if they had a discount code. Brother wanted a hookup. Pro Wrestling Tees actually also jumped in the thread. They gave me one of their codes, and I got like 15 to 20% off. So it shaved me on shipping plus a couple bucks. So like I said, ProWrestlingTees.com and Strong Style Brand for all your wrestling needs. They're awesome. All right, let me see. On the SmackDown. SmackDown kicked off with the most over star right now, the man Becky Lynch. I love Becky Lynch. I did not like Becky Lynch for a long time just because she was boring. She was doing the same thing. But the man gimmick is amazing. So backstage, she got out of her truck. An interviewer asked her if she was ready for Asuka, and she said she'll say it in the ring. As she's walking to the ring, there's the New Day and Heavy Machinery. I love also how these NXT call-ups aren't just coming out for a match. They're putting them on Monday Night Raw, putting them on SmackDown in great segments, seeing where they fit in the best, and then they're going to pick which one they want them on. But it was the New Day and Heavy Machinery, and they were actually taking pancakes and put them in a blender, and they were saying it stunk. Becky, since she is the man, took the pitcher and she just drank it all because she's just a beast like that. It was pretty funny. She gets to the ring and she says people think that she's all hype. She claims that Asuka's the one that's all hype. Asuka can't beat Charlotte, and yet Becky has beat Charlotte tons of times all over the world. Asuka comes out and talks smack when you barely can understand what she says because you really can't speak English, but she got a point across. Let me see. And then my babies, the Iconics, came out to interrupt. Becky challenged one of them to the match. She took on Peyton Royce. Becky Lynch tapped her out. Out of nowhere, Asuka starts tearing in Japanese. She grabs Billie Kay, throws her in the ring, and taps her out in 2.3 seconds. Out of nowhere, AJ Styles' music hits. He comes to the ring, around the ring into the crowd and goes all the way up to the concession stands. It was a playoff for Daniel Bryan last week in the opener. Daniel Bryan was out in the concession stand saying, don't eat this food, don't eat these cups, they're bad for you, don't buy this merchandise and this and that. So AJ went up there and he was saying, here, eat all the hot dogs you want, here's my shirts, throwing them out. Out of nowhere, somebody with a hoodie attacks him. It's actually Daniel Bryan. They fight all over the merch tables, what have you. In the end, Styles put Bryan through a table and he got escorted away. Next, the Usos are backstage doing a photo shoot. A PA comes up to them. He gives them a box. It's got a note. Him and his brother are sitting there reading it, and they think it's from his wife. Come to find out, it's from Mandy Rose, and it has a key to her hotel room. His brother asks him what he's going to do, and he says he doesn't know. Then they show Samoa Joe walking from backstage to the ring. He passes EC3. This is the second time my boy's been on the main roster. The day before on Raw, and then that day on SmackDown. So it's going to be awesome. Next, they show my baby Carmella and R-Truth taking a trip to WWE headquarters because they won this season's Mixed Match Challenge. Let me see. Then they cut to Andrea Ciamis and Zelina Vega. They cut his name down this week too. Like people, I had a hard time saying it, but I know he's Andreas Salamis, and I mean that guy's awesome. But they cut his name down for fans to remember and make it easier. I'm telling you, this guy puts on the best matches. I seen him at NXT Takeover. He fought Johnny Wrestling, and almost all his matches, always they want to give 5 stars or 4 stars. They're always up there. He's going to be a huge star like he was before he came to WWE. Next, Samoa Joe. It's supposed to be Samoa Joe and Mustafa Ali. Joe cuts off Ali before he even gets to the ring, and he just beats the crap out of him. He destroys him. The match didn't even get to start. After that, they cut to Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Mandy said she's going to break up the Usos' marriage. My baby Sonya does not approve at all. She shakes her head, and Mandy goes off to the hotel room. All right, let me see my back. I took a drink, now I lost it. All right, and then they show Rey Mysterio coming to the ring. Nikki Cross made another cameo again. She was behind a cage out of nowhere. She's all shaking and doing a crazy thing. It was too funny, but she's great. So then Rey makes it to the ring. He's fighting Andreas. They have an awesome, awesome match. Like I said, every match this guy puts on is great. And like somebody else said on Wrestle Talk or somewhere else like that, if they put on X-Pac 360 Live, if him and Rey put on like a best out of 7 match, it would be amazing because those guys tore the house down. Zelina did hop up, interfered, but not really. She just distracted him a little bit. And then Andreas gave him like a double DDT off the top rope, and he won. And again, that match was awesome. Then they went back to the Mandy Rose thing. That segment was so stupid. It really was, because Mandy Rose's whole plan was to get the Uso to the hotel room, which she did. She had a photographer come out of nowhere and take pictures because she was standing there in lingerie. WWE did another throwback to the Attitude Area. Come to find out that, Alexa Bliss's for Monday Night Raw got like 2.9 million views, were the highest in YouTube for WWE in a long time, and then Mandy Rose got a bunch too. So I mean, it's awesome. Like people want to see it. We want to see women in scantily clad clothes because we love that stuff. You know, it's a PG era. The kids are there, but bras and panties, there's nothing wrong with it. So anyway, Mandy Rose gets Uso in a room. Her big plan was to get undressed in her bra and panties, and the photographer just busted out of anywhere to show like provocative pics between her and the Uso so she could show his wife. Jimmy Uso isn't even sweating it. He opens a door. He brought his wife with him. Her and Naomi tear the place down. They're on the bed, on the tables, what have you. At the end, Mandy Rose gets to leave, and then her and, Naomi and Uso are standing there. Everything's all right. But she didn't even have to be there. The show is taped live. So all Naomi had to do was either watch the replay of SmackDown or watch the show live. And you can see that Mandy Rose set the whole thing up in the first place. So why would she even fall for it? Why did they have to go through all that? It's just lazy writing on the part. It was just dumb, man. I don't get it. And then after that, it was The Miz and Shane McMahon. Miz wanted to celebrate Shane's birthday. Victory, I apologize. He wanted to celebrate Shane's birthday. Shane plays it off like he doesn't want to be embarrassed. He doesn't like to be the center for attention. Since when, Shane O'Mac? Sheamus and Cesaro come out and interrupt them, and the Miz and Sheamus fights. Cesaro gets involved, but it doesn't work. Then Shane gets involved, and that lets Miz pin Sheamus. About the Miz, man. The Miz is the best, seriously. He's one of the best. He can definitely take over for John Cena, promoting, doing this, doing that, yada, yada, what have you. They need to give my dog, The Miz, another title run because he deserves it. The Miz actually took the birthday cake he had for Shane, and Sheamus is laying in the corner, and he put it on his chest. They wanted him to do the coast to coast. Shane does the coast to coast from one ring post to the other, hits the cake, but you can tell Shane McMahon broke his ass bone, his backbone, something. I love Shane O'Mac, but he's getting too old. He literally hurt himself doing coast to coast. So who knows how bad the injury is, but if so, we're never going to get to see the greatest tag team in the world between The Miz and Shane for a long time. And usually when that happens, they won't even revisit it again. So we probably will never get to see it at all, which kind of stinks. Can't even talk. NXT UK, and 205 Live was excellent this week. But if I keep talking about WWE, it's going to be an hour-long show. It's not what this is supposed to be about. So on my podcast on the weekend, I'm going to cover NXT UK, and 205 Live. And it'll be all night. I mean, it'll be really good. Like I said, this channel is for AEW and Elite, but until they start firing all cylinders, we got to make content somehow. Next, we'll go to ROH. Ring of Honor had Juice Robinson come out to cut a promo. If you don't know who Juice Robinson is, he used to be in NXT. His name was CJ Parker. He played a hippie with dreads. He would put up signs for peace and all that, but he really didn't click, so he asked WWE for his release. He went over to New Japan, and he blew up. He changed his name to Juice Robinson, and Juice Robinson is one of my favorites right now. Everybody knows that New Japan and Ring of Honor have a deal to work together. So Juice came out and he said, I told you that I would be in Ring of Honor a lot. I'm not just going to be here for a little one-off or two-off and all that. I'm going to be here a lot this year. He started talking about what Ring of Honor means. Obviously, it means honor. Duh, it's in the name. But he wants to bring honor back to Ring of Honor. He talked about past stars that left and actually, stuck to the honor code, like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Tyler Black, his best friend, which is Seth Rollins right now, and Daniel Bryan. All those names, of course, got a big pop. The lights cut out, and they show the ROH logo, and they actually had a lifeline going across it, like on a hospital monitor. The lights came back on, and it was 6 people in the ring, I believe. Yeah, it was 6 of them. So it was Juice, Tennille Dashwood, who was Emma. Emma used to be in the WWE with the Bubbles, and then she was bad. She went and she uses her own name now, Tennille Dashwood. So that's the female woman of the stable. It also had David Finlay. David Finlay is Finlay's kid, and David Finlay and Juice Robinson have been tearing it up in New Japan. It's so awesome that Americans are going to get to see them if you don't watch them. Part of the crew also is Bandito, Mark Haskins, and Tracy Williams. They are called Lifeblood, and they look awesome, man. I'm telling you, between Juice Finlay and Tennille Dashwood, never mind the other 3, but the other 3 are big too. Later, Jay Lethal came out and he said he's sick of people like Bully Ray and the Briscoes, taking over Ring of Honor and giving them a bad name. The whole Lifeblood crew came out, and Juice was saying that they were sick of it also. Juice tells him that get 4 more guys just like him who have honor, and they will have an honorable match later on that night. So it is Lifeblood versus the heart and soul of ROH. And like I said, ROH is trying to fill the spots of the stars that left for ECW. They signed Justin Gabriel from WWE. He used to be part of Nexus. He's been playing the character PJ Black. He's been in NWA a lot, and I know they're going to miss him. They also signed former Evolve wrestler Hot Sauce Tracy Williams and the Mexican sensation Rush. Now, Rush is awesome. When Daniel Bryan, keep your eye out for Rush and PJ Black, a.k.a. Justin Gabriel. They're going to do really good in Ring of Honor. Also, the Tag Team Wars are coming up in Dallas and San Antonio. The Kingdom claims that they will win those titles, but the Kingdom member, the Horror King, Vinny, says that Houston, when they're in Houston at night, he has no plans. So he wants to take on the current champ, Jay Lethal. But he claims that Jay Lethal is not the champ. He says the real champ is Matt Taven, the leader of the Kingdom. And Matt doesn't want to fight that night or waste his time, so he'll fight Jay Lethal, which is funny. All right, we'll get to NWA now. NWA had Nick Aldis open the show. It was their, the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and this episode was called A Milestone. He gave props to Tim Storm. Tim Storm was the first holder of the 10 pounds of gold since Billy Corgan bought it last year and did the reboot. Tim Storm's the one who got me into watching YouTube videos and NWA again. He's an old head, but he's awesome. So Nick called him to the ring, and he said that he could have a shot at the title, but the stakes have to be high. He said that if Storm wins, he gets to be the NWA champion and have the 10 pounds of gold back. If he loses, he's never allowed to challenge for the 10 pounds of gold in his life again. Aldis tells him to think it over, and he leaves the ring. Later, Storm has a match against the professional Peter Avalon. I like him a lot. He's a good heel. He's real skinny, what have you, but he doesn't care. He makes up for it in the promos and what he cuts. What was I going to say? Peter Avalon's music hits, but Nico Marquez comes out and Avalon's plays. He says he has a letter from the desk of Avalon. He said he was going to say sorry for not making a match, but he already beat him twice, which is bullcrap. When he did beat him, he cheated to win, but it's still funny because that's what heels do. So if he wants to fight him again, he's got to climb his way up the ladder, the ranks, just like everybody else does, because he's back down at the bottom now. He has back-to-back matches for him. The first match against was from Frankie Frank. So nice they named him twice. Storm made short work of him. Next came the D-Man. He's a famous wrestler for Canada. That match took a little bit longer. They went back and forth. D-Man showed off his skills, but Tim Storm was victorious, of course. And then Nico came out to the ring to beat up D-Man for losing a match. Tim Storm got a hold of him. He tapped him out in the middle of the ring. And then yesterday in the morning show, Good Day Charlotte, William Patrick Corgan, a.k.a. Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins, and Nick Aldis were on Good Day Charlotte. They did an interview. Billy Corgan said that they asked him why he bought the NWA. They think it's crazy. He said since a child he's been a wrestling fan. He definitely loved NWA. He always has, and he could have never dreamed that he would own it one day. They thanked Nick Aldis for coming back because he was on there last year, and they gave him congrats on being the champion still. Nick Aldis said he was the champ still, but he had a little bump in the road, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, but he won his belt back. They talked about the Crockett Cup, which is the infamous tag team tourney that's beginning in April. It was a very good interview. Like I said before, in this weekend's podcast, I will cover NXT, NXT UK, 205 Live, Impact Wrestling, and what happened on Ring of Honor, plus any other updates that happened until then. All right, so I want to thank you so much for joining me this week. It has been a blast. Please check out the AEW Insider, our YouTube videos once a week. Also join us in our groups on Facebook and check us out on Twitter. We also have the weekly podcast. Like I said, it's on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Radio Public, and iTunes. And definitely check out the WFW fan group on Facebook. All things WWE, check out Jabba Jabba Wrestling on Facebook, Twitter, and Anchor. And for all things NWA, definitely check out 10 Pounds of Podcasts on YouTube and on Twitter. I'll see you guys and gals next week. We'll do a Royal Rumble NXT TakeOver show after they air. And like I said, if you don't let me down, I won't let you down. Be safe, peeps. And until next time, ciao.